this morning, the ever-entertaining Sebastian Gorka was on Morning Edition, and before we get to Donald Trump's speech last night, and some of the points about healthcare that I want to make on this day that they're going to roll out their plan. Well, let's listen to a little bit of Sebastian Gorka. We'll have a little bit in a bit. I should also say that, and I don't know if it was anything that I did, but Sebastian Gorka used to have Sebastian Gorka, PhD, in his Twitter handle. And I had tweeted recently, I think, working on a theory that having PhD in your handle correlates with being full of shit. And there was a couple of actual legitimate professors who tweeted at me and were like, hey, somebody had already taken my name. And but now he's just known as the lovable Dr. G on Twitter.
That's gross.
Well, it rolls off the tongue.
That's gross.
I can't wait. Now, so here he is, Dr. Gorka on, I mean, honestly, like, if you put on the Chiron, and now this is a picture of him from what, C-SPAN? Yeah. If you book this guy and you put on his Chiron, this is obviously from radio, but if you put on his Chiron, Dr. Gorka, I think you really should just put in parens, he asked us to put doctor on there. But here he is, Dr. Gorka, on NPR's Morning Edition with Steve Inskeep, responding to the story that Donald Trump told the Attorney General of Pennsylvania. And we're seeing, we've seen dozens and dozens of calls, I think, to 60 JCCs around the country, maybe 150 bomb threats. We've seen, at least in St. Louis and I think in another cemetery, I think in Philadelphia, not sure, where Jewish cemetery headstones were pushed over. Apparently, Donald Trump implied that sometimes it's reverse. Sometimes people are doing it to make it look like there's anti-Semitism. And here is Dr. Gorka defending that comment.
The Pennsylvania Attorney General met with the president, among others, yesterday and heard the president say something different about these synagogue attacks, that sometimes such attacks could be made to make others look bad, as if they were false flag operations, is what they're called. Are the threats on synagogues around the country a false flag operation?
Of course not. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been the opening comments of the president's speech. But if you deny the fact that we have found individuals red-handed...
Pause it for 1 second. I should tell you that the presence of something in a speech by any politician does not necessarily impact the reality on the ground. I think that's his way of saying that, largely speaking, he recognized he needed to say something about it. But all right, just dial it back just a little bit.
In the opening comments of the president's speech. But if you deny the fact that we have found individuals red-handed across college campuses and elsewhere manufacturing fake graffiti attacks or threats of attacks and been found out to be simply doing so because they don't like President Trump and his administration, both things can exist at the same time, Steve, and that's the reality.
All right, so let's break those qualifiers down. Here, let's just play it again. Because the question was, these attacks on Jewish synagogues, do you think that they're false flag? And then his response is to answer something completely different. Continue.
With the president, among others, yesterday, and heard the president say something different about these synagogue attacks, that sometimes such attacks could be made to make others look bad, as if they were false flag operations, is what they're called. Are the threats on synagogues around the country a false flag operation?
Of course not. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been the opening comments of the president's speech. But if you deny the fact that we have found individuals red-handed across college campuses
Pause
and
it.
elsewhere.
College campuses. That's one place. College campuses where there's not the synagogues.
Certainly.
But yes, we've caught them. We've caught them
Jews.
red-handed. We have part of my special capturing false flag anti-Semitic.
I have 3
Squadron
parts of my
force.
job description.
Here we go. Wait a
ISIS,
second. Continue, please.
Individuals red-handed across college campuses and elsewhere manufacturing fake graffiti attacks or threats of attacks and
Pause it.
found
Manufacturing fake graffiti, not genuine.
My
Believe
father,
me.
on the other hand, manufactured quite sincere swastika graffiti.
I totally have the ability.
Completely
I put in my special monocle, and I can look and see the authentic graffiti.
Oh no, that is totally a fake
And then-
swastika. I would know.
As you can see, there's no love here manifested in the 90-degree
No
angle.
appreciation for the craftsmanship. It's really just Jew bathroom humor. Quite pathetic, SJW.
And then he
Nazis-
also, go ahead.
The Nazi swastika points to the right, as anyone would know.
Yes, it's quite basic. As a matter of fact, you can see a bubble here in my
So,
dissertation.
They're also manufacturing, he's saying they're also manufacturing not just fake swastikas, but manufacturing threats to fake vandalism. The old, watch out, we're going to spray swastikas on your locker
The
trick.
Jew, as you know, is quite a big fan of the prank phone call medium. It is part of the sickness of the Jew reptile brain.
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.